putting ourselves in an opportunity to lose on Wednesday night. That's the only game I'm thinking about. And as I told you guys after the game, I honest to God, telling the truth, I didn't even know we were playing Wednesday till Saturday. And it just happened that we were talking about Shabazz's eye appointment, which he just left for. And Mike mentioned, yeah, well, we're leaving on Tuesday. I said, what are you talking about? Because I'm so used to this Thursday, Saturday stuff over the years that I don't even pay attention to the next game. So trust me, all I'm concerned about are the Cougars. And I know that, beating us on Wednesday would really, be something that they'd be excited about.
What is it about the Washington road trip that's so difficult?
Well, it's a long way to get there. It's very difficult travel. As you know, we don't fly charters, so we're changing planes and waiting in airports. And then you also have the weather factor. We're trying to fly into Lewiston, and that'll be 5 men, or flying to Pullman, and stuck up there in the air, and, that's part of it. And they've been good. I mean, you think back to, some of the teams they've had over the last decade, they've been good, both teams. And I'm responsible for both of the losses to Washington State here in Palmer. No other coach has ever lost to Washington State in Palmer but me. Here's truly. So I'm wary of this game.
With all that, you said they've had good teams and the
No
difficulties.
question. I mean,
Why have you reeled off 19 straight wins then?
you know what? A lot of luck. I go back and think about. I think it was my second year here. They were up 3, and Dick Bennett was the coach, and they didn't foul us, and we made it 3 to tie it. Sean Thompson made it 3 to tie it, and we won in overtime. And he said after the game, and I just kicked myself for not fouling. That's always a coach's dilemma. Do you foul? Do you not foul? And, so I remember him talking about that because I was a good friend with Dick and I have great respect for what Dick and Tony both accomplished there at Washington State. So it's really nothing short of my mind, of miraculous.
I mean, so much.
And it's gonna end. I just don't want it to be on Wednesday. We all know that.
You would figure at some point a ball would bounce against the team after a 20-year period.
Well, let's not try to jinx it. But yeah, we've been very fortunate, very fortunate.
With Kyle, whether he goes to the NBA this year or next year, what do you think he needs to improve on, especially to really round out his NBA?
Well, I think that having, this year with Larry, he had the ball in his hands most of the year. And I think a year from now, provided the Kyle's back, which, I obviously hope. And I'm sorry, that I even, I'm sometimes too honest, because it'd be better just to have answered that question differently the other day. Because I never discussed it with Shabazz. It's kind of obvious when a kid's a lottery pick and that they're going to be going to the NBA at this day and age. So that being said, if any, and things could happen for any of our other players too. Depending on how we play here down the stretch. But that being said, to answer the question, Kyle having the ball in his hands more is even going to make him stand out more. The more he has the ball in his hands, where he is so good, and Larry's really improved, is upping the ball, advancing the ball in transition. But I think for Kyle, I think his real greatest strength is making plays for others. And by having the ball more and playing more of the point on offense, which is the plan, a year from now, I think it's going to, and I also think, like today we talked again, I said, God, you look good. Just looking at his body, and he looks very, fit. And he's like, yeah, I've stopped drinking soda again. It's like, you're still a kid, he's growing up. Like all kids in our society, drinking sugary drinks. And, so where he gets his body right, where he has a whole off season to work at lifting, his core, yoga, all of that is going to really increase and then a year from now, and I've talked about this, I'm not playing him at the 4 on defense. He's strictly gonna be guarding a 3 with 1 on offense. I think that's gonna help prepare him, because he's still gotta get better at chasing guys around, you know, and trailing guys. That's what you have to do in the NBA. I mean, you've gotta be able to defend. You're not gonna play unless you can defend your position, defend a position. You're not gonna play. They're not gonna play. And, you know, you look back, I was just commenting with someone yesterday, you know, the kid left Kansas early, that was the #1 recruit in the country 3 years ago. He's out of the league now. What's his name? Out of Philadelphia? So, I mean, you know, you better be ready. You better be prepared. And, the biggest part for that, the next level, is the defensive side.
Would you suggest that he should have at least another year?
No, I'm not gonna suggest anything until the season's over.
Would him coming back change your 2013 point guard recruiting plans at all?
No.
And did you
If
discuss?
Kyle's back, he's our starting point guard.
But does it make it less likely you take another guard?
No, it doesn't. And I shouldn't say it, I mean, everybody's gonna come in and fight it out, you know, but, you know, in my mind, you know, moving forward, it's all about projecting, you know, what could be.
You said you made those comments Saturday without discussing it with Shabazz. Have you discussed his future since then? Today
No.
or Sunday?
No.
He's still downplaying it. Do you think there's even a slight opening there of him coming back, or?
But,
do
you know,
feel-
it's incumbent upon me, as the coach here, if a kid is a top 10 pick, to encourage him to do the right thing for him and his family. And in my opinion, almost without question, if someone's a lottery pick, he should go to the NBA. And the difference is, the later you go, this is the flip side, like, do I think Tyler Honeycutt should have come back? 100%. He would have been a first-round pick the next year. And where you go in the draft, and you go back and study this, which I've done because we've lost a lot of guys early, is that the earlier you go, the more commitment that program, that NBA franchise has to you and is committed to you. The later you go, the less it is. And so it makes total sense. It's like, it's amazing to me that like this turned into such a big deal. Like this is like really big news. Because to me, it's not at all. But, you know, I got home Saturday night and what's like on ESPN every 4 seconds at the bottom there, how one says, and you got to look at my ugly face there on the tube, and I apologize. You know, and you've seen some kids that were and came back anyway. I mean, and the two that come to mind for me are Horford and Miller, and really brutal. You know, after 07, I think, or 06, they would have all been really high, and they all like to come back. And the difference is that Yannick Noah is a multi-millionaire, and you know, Horford's dad was a pro, and I'm not sure what the deal was with Brewer, but you know, the circumstances are always different. If I were him, I'd definitely come back. How would you want to lead this place? Huh? I mean, who was out there? I know you were there. How great was that for the students? The day before the game, when they're out there camping out, our players were out there handing out pizzas. Shabazz made a shot on the second throw, and they put the ping pong ball in the cup game. And, you know, the kids are out there, and, you know, running around. I mean, it was, you know, and it's funny, because I heard someone talk, and I think it may have been an announcer saying that, you know, if you talk to every pro player, they all tell kids, you know, they interviewed Blake Griffin during our game the other day, and he's like, you know, he was a top 10 pick, he came back, and he ended up the #1 pick. So every kid is different, every kid varies. You know, I just, you know, want what's best for my players.
Did that ever?
And that was kind of cool, by the way, to have all those guys here. I'm looking, I had no idea. I never know who's here at a game, you know, when the game's going on. But all of a sudden, it's Blake Griffin, it's DeAndre Jordan, it's Matt, obviously was here, former Bruin, Baron Davis. I I got such a great kick out of seeing Gary Shanley after the game, because I love the Larry Sanders Show. I love Hank Kingsley, and I love Rick Korn and his role. I mean, I had a great time, like, I was thinking, I loved your show, and he's like, yeah. And then I started talking about, all the things that I knew about it. He really did love the show. So that was a fun atmosphere on Saturday for everyone.
Did it ever come up during recruiting of Shabazz that you said, I'm only gonna be here 1 year?
I just said, that's my expectation going into it. Normally, the number one player in the country coming out of high school is one and done. I mean, go back and look at the last 10 years.
Has that been something you've had to get used to as time's gone on?
That's a good thing to get used to, because, it's happened 3 times, and, it's a blessing. I mean, it's a good problem to have, to be the number one player in the country. Like, I can't even say his name because he's a recruit, so. But.
Can you do initials?
AW, it's gonna happen again in the future. And again, we're talking about this, what I would prefer, it's not gonna happen, is that they go right out of high school, but once they come to college, they gotta stay for 3 years. That would be my preference. Even 2 years, I would much have that better for the culture of basketball and for kids, but that's not gonna happen. This is way set up great for the NBA. You guys are covering this, it's all over everywhere. These kids are household names coming out of college. They get to evaluate them for a year under, much more organized, better players. It's all set up for them. And we have no control. We have nothing. And it'd be great if we could have more of a dialogue, because I think it would be better overall for the culture of basketball and ultimately for their league if they stayed for more than 1 year once they attend college.
Without the one and done rule, do you think maybe you wouldn't have had guys like Shabazz or Kevin Love?
No, I think they would have done right away.
Does that has that benefited UCLA at all?
Absolutely, it's been great. I mean, I'll always treasure coaching Kevin Love and Drew Holiday.
Is there any way to kind of force the NBA into
No.
sitting up?
No, I don't see it happening. And that's one of the reasons why I think like the NFL is such a home run. I mean, because everybody knows they're going for 3, these kids are left alone coming out of high school, they're able to enjoy their college experience. Vast majority of them have an opportunity to graduate, they're really close to graduation. If they don't, they leave after year 3. I mean, and they're much more ready once they get there. There's less, no one does all the stories about guys that left early and then are out. I mean, I go back and just think about here locally, like the kid that was at SC, was the first pick in the second round of the Celtics, just now over in Israel or somewhere. Really good player from the Valley. What was his name? Played for Tim's first couple of years. Him and Nick Young were in the backcourt. Great player.
Gabe Pruitt.
Yep.
Pruitt.
Gabe Pruitt stays 1 more year. He's still in the league right now. There's so many kids that are at that end of the draft that actually get messed up by this whole thing. There's such a push, and that's why having a strong family, there's kids, nobody that has stayed here has been hurt by staying here since I've been here. Now, one guy has been hurt by staying here.
Does that put Kyle in a more precarious situation when he's not, guaranteed any, or he's not like Shabazz right now? Is it incumbent upon you to help him make that decision at the end of the season?
Yeah, but he has a dad who's a coach and a mom, they're smart. They're gonna do, it's all about long term. Everybody in our society is about now. But in a decision like that, you've gotta have vision to see the long term. And, I'm very confident that, and at the end of it, we'll see, But they're smart people. They're intelligent, very bright, been around it their whole lives situation. So, they'll make good decisions. And Kyle, will be the one that makes his own decision. He's very mature.